That's so very nice.
That's it.
I know people were probably leaning into their radios wondering, what is happening? Is this the conversation? I'm sure it's the conversation, but that's not their theme song. It isn't our theme song normally, but it is this week, and there's good reason for that. Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, and after this show, we are racing like a freight train without brakes going downhill towards the weekend. It's raining outside, which is good because the flowers and the trees and the grass and all the animals out there need that rain. You are listening to The Conversation. This is WMNF 88.5. I'm your host, Mario Nunez. As always, I'm seated with my broadcast partner,
Joe King Carter. Good afternoon.
And on the big board today is Jessica Green. Jessica, is your mic close by? Can you say hello to everybody? They need to hear your voice.
Hi, folks.
Short and sweet and to the point. Listen, she's like E.F. Hutton. When she speaks, people do listen. I'm just going to say that. So, Joey, why did we open up with Pharrell's song, Happy?
Because we are happy, and we are happy because we reached our goal last week.
Well, be more specific, Joey.
And
you don't have to give a dollar sign or a dollar amount, but you can just say,
well, we way overshot.
What is that goal? What is the whole et al? Fundraising?
Fundraising, because this station relies 70% or more on funds given to you by the community, and I think you know this. And this is very important to us. So our fundraisers are very necessary. Otherwise, we would not be here asking for money 3 times a year. And in that process, each show must hit their goal. And it's not exactly a grade from your teacher, but it's kind of a way of saying, the community saying, we like that show.
Exactly.
We listen to that show.
Exactly. And it's support from listeners like you all that make us feel so wonderful and warm and happy inside. And that's why this morning we started out with Pharrell's song, Happy. And I must say at the top of the show, we just concluded this period of fundraising this morning at 9 a.m. And even as of 9 a.m. this morning, funds were still coming in, donated specifically to The Conversation. I want to say thank you to Neil. Let me see, does it say here? It does. Thank you to Neil Manimala. I'm going to say Manimala because that's the way it looks and that's the way I'm going to read it. Neil Manimala, thank you from Tampa for your wonderful donation of $100 in tribute to his partner Rachel, his wife Rachel, and we're just excited because...
Thank you so much, Neil. Thank you.
We didn't expect it, but here we go. Kelly Buttermore from Tampa, Florida.
A friend to us all.
And she's part of our Circle of Friends, which for those of you that aren't familiar with the concept, Circle of Friends, you can donate as little as $5 a month. Each and every month it comes out of your account. You don't miss it. You don't feel it. And that includes you in the Circle of Friends, which is a sustaining donation, right? We appreciate the $50, certainly.
Absolutely.
But $10 a month gets you $132 on the year. And again, Kelly and Neil, thank you all so much with love in our hearts for getting our show off.
That's why we're happy.
Go, Joey. Go. Joey is happy. He's a clapping fool this morning because we did hit our goal last week. So here we are.
That's it.
A new session, a new period in time, and we've got new guests that we want to introduce you to going forward. And today is no exception. Joe, do the honors. Who's in studio with us today?
Well, we have with us...
Are you fumbling? Don't fumble. Don't fumble.
I'm fumbling. I'm sorry. We have with us today Lori Martin.
There you go.
Hi.
And good afternoon, Lori.
Good afternoon.
And Lori is going to talk a little bit about her life and what she's doing and what she does for our community. But she also has a side partner with her today. And who is that side partner?
You might have heard her clapping there just a moment ago.
My name is Hadley Stone.
Hi, Hadley.
Hadley Stone is with us as well.
Hadley is with us, and Hadley is Lori's granddaughter.
There you go.
And Hadley is quite like her grandmother, beautiful.
There you go.
And smiling.
What
and
a
wonderful.
smile.
And you have a friend with you. Does that friend have a name? Your porpoise?
It's a dolphin.
It's a dolphin, Joey.
Does your dolphin have a name?
Yes.
What is your dolphin's name?
Delphina.
Oh,
Well,
Delphina the dolphin.
yeah.
Come on, listen, we've got... I've already rung the bell 5 times, and we're only 10 minutes into the show. That's beautiful.
Wow.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's very cool. Well, as time goes on, we may hear more from you, Hadley, so we're going to talk to you as well. But, Lori, we talk about the personal narratives here of community members in our Tampa Bay area. Where did you grow up?
Wow. Central Illinois.
Okay.
I am one of 7. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
That's a busy household.
Yes. Small community, Charleston, Illinois. We're a few hours south of Chicago.
There you go.
And
College
you,
town.
The big city.
Yeah.
and
What's
in the
who's
birth
in
order?
Charleston? Who's in Charleston? College Town. Shout out to the
Eastern Illinois University.
There, the Fighting-
The Panthers.
the Panthers. Okay, there you go. Let's go for the Panthers.
There you go.
School colors.
Blue and gray. Blue and gray.
Okay. Enough of that.
Yeah.
And what was the birth order of those of 7 children?
Boys and girls.
I'm number 7. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. So,
Like
And
that.
they're all
the
older.
boys came out first. The girls came out.
and I
Are they
have
mixed?
two brothers,
And
and then
then a
2
girl?
sisters, and then a brother, sister, and then me.
Okay.
That
and-
sounds like fun, Joe.
Yeah. And
was
It
fun.
better be a
Family.
big house with a lot of bathrooms.
was there a big age difference in that setup, or
So
were they
there's
all
12 years between myself and my oldest brother.
Okay. All right. And so you grew up in this large household, and just give us a little idea of how that went, how that worked. How much fun was that? How difficult was that? What was that about?
Well, it was crazy. Let's just start with that.
Okay.
Right.
7 children. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad, he was in construction. We all had chores. We all worked together. We were a team. So, there's 4 years between my sister and I, the next in
one
line.
after, yeah.
And so when I was 5 years old, I had 2 brothers that were already married and had children. So I
interesting.
became an aunt when I was 5.
Wow.
Beat me.
Yeah.
I became an uncle Theo when I was 10. So,
Oh, really?
You know, because my oldest brother is about 9 years older than me, 9.5, almost 10 years older. So isn't that
Yes.
something?
It is. And we grew up like we were friends. It was my niece. And so we kind of grew up together.
Could have been like your younger sister almost.
I know, right?
Wow. Interesting. Yeah.
You imprinted on that child, whether you knew it or not.
Yes.
You imprinted. So you're much more than an aunt, really and truthfully. More like an older sister.
Well, my brothers and sisters always teased me because they said that my parents were finished after 3 boys and 3 girls, and they said they were the perfect Brady Bunch. And then I came. Yeah.
Oh.
So I was always like, I wasn't the wanted one. I
were-
broke up their Brady Bunch.
Hey,
broke up the Brady
Joey, you know, and I'm just going to digress for a moment, but we've done this. You know, we do the personal narrative thing
Yes.
always, each and every week, because we think it personalizes our guests and it introduces our guests in a different way to the community. We've had this story come up before.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, with a large family where there was the one child that came, we'll call it the bonus dividend, right? The extra child.
At the end.
At the end.
Yes.
And it's not that it upsets the dynamic of the family, but it does make it very unique. And then the upbringing that you had is different completely from your siblings.
Yes.
No, there you go.
Yeah, and
so your story is not that unique to us. We've heard it before.
And there's a whole field of study in things like psychology about birth order and how that all works typically and non-typically. But did that make you kind of the princess? What did that make
Well,
you?
my brothers and sisters would say that I was pretty spoiled and always got I was the first of 7 to get a car when I turned 16. And
Oh, wow.
they still are like,
They won't
I'm,
let go
I'm
of it.
58
Yes.
and they still are, bringing that
They're
up.
looking at you. They're looking at you like that.
She got a car.
Like, you're the only one. They said that I got the biggest wedding.
The
that-
biggest piece of cake.
The biggest everything.
Yeah.
I got it. I was the one that got the first bed set.
That's what I was going to
Oh,
say. You
my
probably had your
gosh.
own. You had your own bedroom where nobody else might
Yes.
have.
And I had a canopy bed, and they all were so
Lori, Lori,
Yes.
We're learning so much about you.
You were
Lori.
Princess Lori.
Yes, you were.
Yes,
Yes, you were.
And I
Princess
didn't
Lori.
even ask for it. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's the best way. Maybe that's the best way. You don't know you're not supposed to be a princess.
So you grew up as the princess, and then what happens? We go to school, and then sort of take us through some of that. What happens?
How were your high school years?
They were great. I was very active in high school. I was in track, and I was, I tried to do as many sports as that I was capable of doing. I was a
Good for you.
cheerleader. I was the captain of the cheerleading
Surprises no one here in this panel.
wait a
Surprises no one here on
I'm
this
very
panel.
loud. It was meant to be because I am loud.
And you're still cheering for another reason. We're going to get get to that.
Yeah.
You're still leading the cheers.
But captain of the cheerleading team. So
Yeah, the
you
head
were-
cheerleader.
You were also someone seeking social interaction. You were a very popular person.
Very social. Always, I love people. Love
Yes.
to be around people.
I can see that. Yeah. And so you're in high school, and then what happens after?
So I skipped school my senior year. My father helped me buy my first car. It was a Chevy Berlinetta. And we went to sign the papers, and I said, I don't want to go to school today. It was the spring. I was, a month away from graduating. And my dad said, okay, I'm going to call out for you. So I went out to the lake, and I was with a friend, and I saw these two really handsome guys on motorcycles. And so I asked my friend, like, who's this guy? Yes, who is this guy? And
It always involves a motorcycle.
I know it. And she told me who he was, and so I kind of did some arranging, and I found out who his roommate was, and I knew his roommate, and I said, if you can get your friend to give me a ride on his motorcycle, which was Doug Martin, if you get him to give me a ride, then I will, any girl in the high school, it's your date. I gotcha. And so he picked a girl, and I met my husband, Doug, that day. And
Wow.
38 years later, we are happily married.
Wow.
My best
Matchmaker.
friend.
Make me a match.
Wow.
That's a great story. That's a great story.
I chased him down.
Wow. Wow.
So my mother tells the story similarly, and I love the way she says it because when she the punchline is, he chased me until I caught him. If you hear it there, he chased me until I caught him. But yes, and they're still together 77 years later. I don't know how that
love
happened, but Mom and Dad, we love you.
I love
It's a great
that.
story. It's a great story.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
them.
So does this mean, but you graduated?
Yes.
You graduated. You almost immediately get married? When do you get married?
I was 19.
Wow.
Pretty young,
I
young.
met right after I turned 18. We met, and I was married at 19. He was 23.
And you knew.
Love
you
at first sight. You just knew. I just knew. Yeah.
This
Something
happens.
about that motorcycle. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I know.
So then what happens in this new marriage?
So he becomes a police officer.
Okay.
In the small town that we lived in.
Charleston.
We moved to Champaign, Illinois, which is the Fighting Illini.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
So he became a SWAT K-9 officer. I was a stay-at-home mom, and we started having children. So we have 3 children, a daughter and 2 sons. Our daughter's
Hence
the
Hadley.
oldest. Our daughter's the oldest, and we have 5 grandchildren.
Amazing.
Yes.
And Hadley was just raising her hand.
Yeah, because she's in that group.
Hey,
She's in
I'm
that
right
group.
here.
That's how I got here. So you have kids and you're in Champaign, and then what is happening in Champaign? Are you there for very long? Are you a
Have
stay-at-home
you grown tired of the
mom?
cold yet?
So we got very tired. My mother-in-law, she wintered in Florida, in Tampa. And we have 2 autistic children. And so our boys were little, and they loved to be outside. And that was where they found their happy place. And we were cooped up for 5-6 months a year in Illinois in the weather. And so my mother-in-law said, come to Florida. And my husband left his job behind, and we moved to Florida.
Started a new life.
Started new with nothing. No jobs. We
To
moved
Tampa?
here without jobs to Tampa.
There you go.
Wesley Chapel.
And
Moved to
how
Wesley
old
Chapel.
were the kids then?
Our daughter was 7, so probably 7, 6, and 4.
Okay. And we sort of passed over this, but autism, let's talk a little bit about that
Sure.
if we can. So 2 sons, both autistic. That is a lot of challenge. And so what happens in that process for you? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, very interesting. I believe that our sons have brought our marriage stronger. Because it's
One or the
it's
other.
tough. It's one or the
It
other.
either drives you apart
It
or drives you
does.
together.
And so it's not easy, but there's so many people that have so many challenges in their family, and that was kind of our challenge. But we found the best doctors that we could and got them in therapies, and we had a lot of family time, and they're on completely different ends of the spectrum. Both of
Okay.
the boys, yes. So our
Even
youngest,
more challenging yet because
Yes.
there's different skill sets required to handle both of them.
Exactly. Our youngest, he's 30 now, and he is the pit master at Station House Barbecue here in Seminole Heights.
Okay.
Met that young man.
He is
Yeah.
amazing.
Very nice. Very nice.
He drives a car. He works hard. He has his own space on our property. And then our oldest son, he lives in a group home 5 minutes from where we live in a community with 5 other adults. He's nonverbal, but just amazing. I mean, I am who I am today because of our boys.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I for a number of years, about a decade, I worked in the field with the population of people with intellectual disabilities, and I worked with autistic individuals a lot. And they're always absolutely unique in how they express themselves in the world or don't express themselves. Often highly intelligent, all kinds of amazing things going on there. So it's always one of those kinds of odd gifts. And I dealt with group homes and how that life works. And it's an amazing thing.
Caden's, our son, he started living in a group home when he was 21, and he's 32 now. And so he loves it. He thrives.
He thrives there. I was gonna
my
say.
goodness, because he's around 5 other adults that are, very, similar to his diagnosis. And he just is like thriving in the community. He goes out, he exercises every day. He shops. He cleans the house at his group home. I mean, they always say he's the life of the party at the house. So he's a great kid.
And this is your nonverbal son.
This is my nonverbal.
So
Yeah.
imagine how his expressiveness must come out, manifest itself if he's nonverbal.
Exactly.
It's got to be a smile. It's got to be in the eyes. It's got to be
He's
in the
happy.
kindness. He's got to be. There you go.
Just
the
he's
happiness.
happy.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
We've been blessed, very blessed.
I see. Absolutely. Well, our challenges are our blessings in a sense, isn't it? I mean, it's what we
believe
grow
it.
It's
from.
and it's
as
what who
humans.
makes us, like you so eloquently stated at the top of the conversation. It's what makes me. It's what makes us who we are.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So you and your husband come here, and you have your children with you, and now he changed jobs. Did you become a working mother at that point, or no?
As the children got older, I
Yes.
got into real estate and did that kind of on the side, so I could still be a mom and be home with the children in the summer. My husband started a landscaping company, and he did that for over 20 years. And then I became a chef and in healthcare. So it was kind of. In my younger years, I went to school to be a registered nurse.
Okay.
When our children were, when I was in school, when I found out the news that I was going to have our daughter. And so I made it all through school until my last semester of clinicals in nursing school. I was studying to be an RN. And I had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. And the next semester, my final semester was starting. I had my youngest on a Friday. Monday, this new semester started, and I'm like, I give up. I can't do it. I can't do it. It was hard enough with the oldest two.
My goodness.
And then I was going to have a baby. So I just, at that point, God had another plan. He had another plan because we found out, when our oldest son was 3, that he was autistic. And so, I just, my journey kind of took a different path at that point, and I loved it. That's my greatest joy, is that I was a mom. And now I get to be a grandma, and that's even, oh my gosh, off the charts. So incredible.
It's different, isn't it?
Oh.
And special.
It's a different love.
Sure it is.
It is
Sure
a different love.
We're wading into those waters. My wife and I are wading into those waters now. So we've got a granddaughter that's about to be 3, and her sister's about to burst on the scene in July. So, and girls are completely different from boys.
Yes.
Girls have a different feeling, the way they express themselves and the way they smell. I'm just going to say it right now.
I know.
I mean, they all smell the same when they're little.
Yes.
When they get to be teenagers, it's a completely different situation.
Yes,
We're not
exactly.
quite there yet. Hey, Joey, why don't we
Yes.
do a station identifier? Let everybody know who we are, and then we'll come back, give a phone number away, continue our conversation. Mr. Mack and Brandon, we see you there. Hang tight for just a minute. We're going to come to you on the phone on the other side of this station ID.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly King, and you're listening to The Conversation with Mario Nunes and Joe King Carter on WMNF 88.5 FM, Tampa.
Thank you, Dr. King, for that endorsement.
That
and for
Dr. Kelly, she was wonderful.
Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful identifier. So I'm going to give you the number now, and if you guys would like to load the phone lines, if you have a question, a comment, you want to talk to and express yourself, this would be the opportunity to do that. Our phone number here is, as it always is, 813-239-9663. You can send us a text if you're so inclined. Jessica will get that text and read it on the air, 813-433-0885. Or you can send us an email, dj@wmnf.org. Again, Jessica is watching for your emails and your text messages. She will screen them accordingly, and she will read them on the air. She's just shaking her head no, but she will, because we pay her a lot to do that. And at this, which is to say, pastelito de guayaba from La Segunda Central Bakery. Anyway, she works for food. We're going to go ahead now and bring Mr. Mack in from Brandon, because he's been waiting for a hot minute, and see what he has to offer. Mr. Mack and Brandon.
Hey guys, wonderful show. I'll try to tune in every week and catch you guys.
Oh, we appreciate that
Thank
so
you,
much.
thank you,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Question for your guest there. Was I correct in hearing that your older siblings are twins?
No, I do not have twins. I have a daughter and two sons, but they're
No,
Siblings.
your brother-
Your siblings.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I do not have twin siblings. No.
Okay, I thought you said they came in twos.
They came in twos.
They did come in twos. They came in twos, lots of twos.
Yes, I
At the
must
same
say.
time.
Yes, my oldest two brothers are. They called them Irish twins because they're 11
Calendar
months
year.
apart.
That's right.
They're what?
11 months apart.
Have you ever heard of that,
oh, okay,
Mr. Mack?
okay.
Irish
Same here.
Irish twins. They're, it's like your brother's born in January, and right away mom gets pregnant again. So you've got a sister who's born in the same calendar year. She's born in December.
Yes.
So or November. I played Little League with a couple of sets of Irish twins, which is really fantastic when you think about it, because they're born the same year.
Yes.
Calendar year.
Ah, nice. The reason I mistakenly understood that you might have twins for siblings, that there's a place in Ohio called Twinsburg, and every year they have an annual convention for twins.
Oh, that's amazing.
I've seen that highlighted on the Sunday morning show on CBS. It's fascinating because
by the way-
they come in at all ages and
And by
shapes
the way,
and sizes.
is it Mac? Mac?
Yeah, Mr. Mack. Mhm.
Mac, by the way, that's so interesting. Coincidences don't happen. Oh, just over the weekend, I met a man who is a twin, and we were having a conversation, and he and his brother used to have a juggling act. And when he was young, and he said it was very vaudevillian. And I met him in Ybor City, and he was there looking to buy some cigar boxes because, just like W.C. Fields, these two brothers used to juggle cigar boxes. And he was telling me that we're juggling. And the moment he said that, I thought, well, how fascinating that would be to be in an act of two juggling twins, because they're facing each other, throwing things back at each other, back and forth, and they both look exactly the same. And he said they used to start their show with an act in which one would come out, and then he would do some things, and then go away, and the other would come out, and they would do this a couple of times, and they would sort of con and fool the audience. But I just thought it was so interesting. And one of the things he said was, and am I correct in this, that in Twinsburg they have an annual parade or event?
Yes, like a convention or something.
Yes. So,
I know.
and he said that they would go each year and perform, and they were the only in the entire city
Performing
of Twinsburg.
twins?
They were the only juggling
Juggling
twins.
twins.
wow.
Juggling twins.
Wow.
So there's a little tiny anecdote there. So
Thank you, Mr. Mack. Thank you for your phone call, and as always, thank you for listening. We so appreciate our audience. Thank you so much.
May God fill her house with many blessings.
Oh, thank you so much, Mac.
We're going to get to that in just a minute. Listen up, because we got a great story to tell about that as well. Thank you, Mac.
Bless you all. Bye-bye now.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
So
We had the
very
Arena
nice.
Twins here in Tampa. The Arena Twins
right.
were famous singers.
Performers.
Yeah, performers,
Yeah,
singers.
yeah.
Right out of Tampa. And legend has it that the Arena Twins would have gone national, except that their mom was kind of dead set against them leaving, abandoning their education process. She wanted them, because at 15, 16,
Right.
when you're sitting on the precipice of perhaps a national recording contract,
Right.
you got to make decisions. Are you going to chase that, or are you going to stay home and get your education and, maybe perhaps go to work in the cigar factories, but they did have a very successful run, the Arena Twins. Let's bring this conversation now around the corner as we've just come upon 33 minutes past the hour. And let's talk about what you're doing presently with your nonprofit and the real reason you're here today.
And sort of, if you will, talk a little bit about how you led up to that. How did that happen?
Perfect.
You guys, amazing story. I don't know if I've shared this with you, Mario.
Well,
Have
let's
you?
go.
Okay.
And you had me at Mario, by the way. You had me at Mario.
So we attend church in Seminole Heights. So I've always just been drawn to Seminole Heights. Love it. A small church, Watermark, over on Central Avenue. We started going to church there. And I was just like, we were in the process trying to look for a home, but we couldn't find a home. So we're looking for a rental because our lease was up. And so my husband finds a rental on Norfolk in Seminole Heights, 3 minutes from my church. And it's this one block of this little, it was just a beautiful little street. And all the neighbors had lived there for 30 or 40 years. So everybody
All
knew
those
each other.
bungalows, all those Seminole Heights
It was
homes.
beautiful. And so we move into the home, and I was a little apprehensive because there's a lot of unhoused individuals in the area in Seminole Heights. But I went with it because it was close to church, and I just knew that this is where we were supposed to be. So I'm at the gym over on Waters, Planet Fitness, and there is a thrift store right next door. This is during COVID, so we had to wear masks at the gym, and there was this thrift store, and it just opened, and it's called Red, White, and Blue. So I go into the thrift store after I'm working out, and there's probably maybe 60, 70 individuals in the thrift store. And I'm just minding my own business, and I'm flipping through the racks, and I feel someone staring at me. I just felt that someone was. I look up over the rack, and there's a man staring right at me, and our eyes met. And something happened in that moment when we connected our eyes. So I kind of was startled a little bit.
And all you had were your eyes because your faces are
My
covered.
face was covered up.
So let's be clear.
But there's something to that
There you
also,
go.
Mario.
There you go.
Okay.
Windows of the soul. There
yes.
you go.
So I kind of moved down the aisle a little bit, and I look back. He's still staring at me. I go a little further, look back. This man has not moved, and he's still staring at me. I turn the corner, and the aisles are really long. So I turn the corner, and when I say this is hard because I experienced it, and it's hard to kind of express to someone else that feeling. But it had been maybe a couple seconds, and this man is standing right next to me. As I turn the corner, he's there. And the only thing he said to me our entire talking was he touched my arm and he said, "Can I have your mask?" And at that moment, I realized this man doesn't have a mask on because everybody was supposed to wear a mask. And it's hard to describe, but I knew he was a homeless man, but he didn't look homeless. I knew that he was. And I believe to this day it was a divine appointment because when I left,
Yeah. That's okay.
it's our,
Take your time.
It's the best part of our show.
that day when I walked out of that thrift store, my heart was changed. And every time I tell this story, I feel the same way. So I know that there was a calling on my life. It all made sense why I found the church in Seminole Heights, why I moved to Seminole Heights, my gym, and at the grocery store, it was like when I walked out of that store that day, the scales were taken off, and I could see need everywhere from people all over Tampa. And there were things that followed that day. I had just some scriptures that came to mind, and it was from the book of James, and it was about feeding and clothing my people. And I knew that I had been called by God in that thrift store to go out and help people in need. And I knew that I was going to be revisiting that thrift store and purchasing things for the people that needed them. And so events following that, I was given a name in Scripture, and I knew that I wanted to do this full time. And so it took me about a year and a half before I became a nonprofit, and most everything that was given.
And what is the name of that nonprofit?
It's called Revive and Restore.
Okay.
And people can find you.
And people
And
can
Hadley is
find
clapping.
us.
That's Hadley clapping, y'all. That's Hadley clapping for her grandmother and all of her effort.
And so it was, it's been nobody wakes up and says, hey, I think I'm going to start a nonprofit, helping the homeless. I think we all have a calling, and I know that there was a calling on my life.
It required that divine appointment, as you
It was.
so aptly describe it. He, capital H, drove you to that thrift store.
Yep.
And perhaps even he, capital H, put that man in front of you.
This man
So there
was
you go.
something like I had never felt. But the way he looked at me, the way he touched me, and he only said, "Can I have your mask?"
I've got goosebumps, but I want to know the answer to this question because these goosebumps may multiply in front of you. Did you ever see him again?
No,
There you go.
no.
That's the way it often works.
And
Never.
there you go.
yeah.
And I will never forget him. I'll never forget the look. There was something about this man's eyes that I'm telling you, it burned into my soul.
And you gave
That
him your
I
mask, of
knew.
course.
I gave him my mask. And it was almost as if I was being asked, will you give it all? Will you give it all for me? And
Because your
gave it.
mask at that moment in time, both theoretically and practically, was what was keeping us safe
Yes.
at the time. So
Yes.
you had to unmask yourself
Right.
in order to be able to provide.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I didn't have a special mask. I wasn't, and it wasn't like I was the only person in there. He found me. He was locked onto me. And this entire time where I kept looking back to see if he was still looking at me, I didn't even notice he didn't have a mask. And at that time, people were very, you didn't have a mask on. You got
Stay away from me.
Like,
Yeah, 6 feet or
don't-
more.
Yes. But I never.
And you
ever
never felt
even
scared
saw-
or
no.
afraid, or you
No.
were always safe within
No.
that. That's the tell. I
And
think
I-
that's the tell. The
Exactly.
fact that you knew organically, I'm safe here. There's no problem here.
And and that brings to another, a question that I'm asked a lot. Are you ever afraid when you're on the street? Do you ever have fear? And that's something that God just took from me when he called me to it, because there's no fear. Absolutely no fear. I put people in my car all the time and give them rides places. I never, ever, I feel so protected because I know that that's my calling.
Joey, this might be the perfect moment with about 20 minutes left in show to mention Lori's partner, and I won't say in crime, although that's what everybody thinks, Lori's partner in this love story and this love mission. Because when you talk about Fearless, you can't talk about Fearless and Lori Martin without talking about Allison Fonseca, who is
Well, let's
another.
give her a shout out.
Who is another
Allison, my girl.
who is another
my
dynamic
sister.
force of
Absolutely.
nature, who, both of these women, when they go back to back, there's nothing that can stop them. I'm just going to say it. I've seen them in action. And, if there's 24 hours a day, they'll work 26. They'll get it done. So, and I've always said that. I've always said that if you want to get something done, you ask a busy person to get it done. And if you really wanted to get it done with that level of panache and aplomb, then you ask somebody who's always smiling. You ask that head cheerleader because she's going to get it done in a way that you might not be able to. That's you, Laurie.
Thank you.
And Allison.
Thank you. Yes.
Another little observation, there's a bunch of little thoughts that went through my mind. One of my favorite quotes is the teacher appears when the student is ready. You could also apply it religiously to
Yes.
the angel appears. But the point is significant. Many of us can attest to the fact that there comes a moment, or maybe more than one moment in your life, when somebody you have what seems on the surface to be a chance meeting, and it ends up being something that changes your life in profound ways. The other thing that I was thinking about was that you wanted to be a chef and you wanted to be a nurse, which are both service. They're service to people. Really, a chef, you might get paid. A nurse, you get paid. You get a paycheck. But you're really giving to others. And I know from my own personal experiences in doing various services over my years is that feeds your soul in a way that is just unbelievable, because most of us, and I understand exactly why, most of us come up in a society pressured by consumerism and money and finances and making your way through the world, where we put our nose down, we get a career, a job, and we follow that through. Give to the community in various little ways. But when you really go out of your way to help others, it changes you.
Speak to that, Lori.
Joy.
Speak to that.
It's a joy that I never knew before in my career as a chef, and when the timing was right, I gave it all. I just walked away from it and said, "This is what I'm going to do," and I know that I'm doing what I've been called to do. But there's the joy that is in it every day. Of it's not about me. This has nothing to do with Lori Martin. It's all about serving others.
Serving others.
And there's such a need in our city, in this community, and I'm so drawn to Ybor City and Seminole Heights because there's such a need here.
Tell us about the amount of people that you serve on a weekly basis. Let's get down to brass tacks now, because, okay, so all of this that you're describing puts us in a place where we feel motivated and we feel like we're moved inspirationally in spirit to action.
Yes.
But that doesn't happen just because you want it to.
Yes.
Right. You've got to raise funds. You've got to go out of your way to physically be on scene and on site.
So let's do this. You have this a moment of epiphany. There's no other way to call that. So you
Divine
have
appointment. I like that too.
You have an epiphany. Now, how you form a nonprofit? What do you actually do? What is the sticks and stones that
Nuts and
works
bolts.
that? Yeah.
So we are a nonprofit that we go into communities.
But how did you start it?
I started it through the Underground, Tampa Underground.
Okay.
They are they have over 50 micro churches, 50 plus micro churches. So I became a micro church through Tampa Underground. They mentored me to get my 501c. I was under their 501c for a while.
Oh, that's right.
And then I became my own standalone 501c, and they have mentored me. They do all of my accounting for my my nonprofit. Any questions that I have about my nonprofit or just in general, they are there for me. So that has been.
And this is the Tampa Underground.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's important for people out there who may be inspired, who might someday start their own nonprofit. So
Yes,
this is the reason the nuts and bolts of this intrigues me a little bit. Of how
And
you
it's
do it.
important. And it's important.
I highly suggest Tampa Underground for anybody. Hadley has, she's having some issues with
Allergies?
Yes.
We've got tissues on the table
She
here.
needs a tissue.
Yeah, right here, Hadley. There we go. Oh, she's got one.
So we started, I wanted to clothe them. I knew that. So I knew that was really important. I'm so sorry.
No, she's
okay.
fine. She's fine.
So we raised funds. My husband said one day we were taking women and men's clothing in IKEA bags. That's how I started out. In my backyard in Seminole Heights, I had crates and I had tubs of clothes. People were donating clothes. And my husband said one day, Lori, why don't we do a mobile closet? So we'll get an enclosed trailer. He's a contractor. So, he said, I will make it exactly what you need inside to go and serve into the community. So I raised funds and we were able to buy our mobile unit. And so we take that out into communities and distribute clothing. It's amazing. It's a 30-foot trailer.
If somebody wanted
everything.
If somebody wanted to contribute to that, please let us know how they can help.
Absolutely. And so Allison and Anthony Fonseca, they own Station House Barbecue here in Seminole Heights on Nebraska. And we partner with them, and we serve every Wednesday in Ybor City at Our Lady of Perpetual Hope Catholic Church.
I know it well.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
we serve between 150 to 200, depending on what the week is and what's going on in the community and,
when
the
do you do
weather.
that?
Every Wednesday, 4:15.
Today.
Today.
Later today.
Yes, later
Okay.
today. We'll be there. I serve at my church once a month. The last Tuesday of every month, we have my friend Josh from Give Back Cuts. He's a barber, so he will cut hair. My friend Dally from Shower Up comes, and my mobile closet's there. We serve a meal to the community. We've been doing that for over 2 years. And just recently, we started at Sober Life. It's a transitional home and rehab for men with addictions. And so we get to go and distribute clothing there for the men that live in the homes. Yeah, it's pretty
Joey,
amazing.
do you see, Joey? Do you see the angels do walk among us?
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what
absolutely.
I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just aliens that we're looking for over our shoulders. It's the angels that are
And
walking among us.
and the need for this is so huge.
It's
because
great.
Our political system has not fulfilled its commitment for the better good of our communities, and therefore there should be more help given to those who are homeless. So it's now left up to the community itself to do it. And if not for people like you, then what would happen? And all of us now are seeing more and more. Every single one of us are interacting with homeless people every day.
Yes.
I mean, it's everywhere. I live in Ybor City, and it's been, since the moment I moved there, it's been a critical part of my life.
Yeah.
And those individuals on the street have been around me every day for the last 35 years. So I understand.
I love
Lori,
it.
if we could ask this question, and if it's appropriate, what's the greatest need that your organization might have presently? How can we be
Well-
of service to you as you are of service to our community?
Well,
and thank you, by the way, for all that you do, because
Absolutely.
it is a tireless effort. It's almost like building that sandcastle at the shore's edge, knowing full well that with the next tide, your hard work is probably going to be washed away, and you got to start all over again tomorrow. So each and every week, it's new. It's a new effort.
It's
How can we help you?
There's so much excitement in it, and every day's different, and it's amazing. But I would say, if I had to, I mean, and this kind of sounds cliche, but love. They need love. They need someone. So many of them say, if people would just look me in the eye and just ask me, how are you today? Sometimes that is more than they could ever ask for, right? Essentials that they need. They always need, like right now we're in rainy season, they need umbrellas, they need ponchos, they need water with this heat, hydration packs. You know, those are probably the number one thing that's asked for from me are backpacks.
How do the people that are listening right
interesting.
now that are attracted to this story in ways that they want to be able to mobilize and help? Where do they send that stuff? Where, if they want to
Okay.
bring you a 24-pack, a 36-pack of water, how do they get it to
Oh,
you?
I've got options.
Okay. let's exercise all of those, and then we're going to talk about these
Okay.
sweet sticky buns that are in front of me. But go
All
ahead.
right. Well, first of all, our website, reviveandrestore.net. We have a calendar on our website that shows everywhere we are throughout the month and the times and the addresses. They can contact me through our website, as well as what else did you just ask me, Mario?
No, where can they deliver the goods?
Oh, okay.
Where can they deliver the goods?
So we have a wish list, Amazon, Walmart on our website. We have location drop-offs. We have a warehouse off of Hillsboro, and we have twice a month we're at our warehouse, so they can drop off there. They can drop off at Station House Barbecue.
Yes, on Nebraska.
Yes, Revelations Cafe. I have 2 apartment complexes that they can drop off right here in Seminole Heights, Height and Notch. They have drop boxes there as well.
Good.
Do you
Or
feel
they can
comfortable?
contact me
Do
personally
you
and
feel
I drive
comfortable
by.
giving your phone number out on the air? Is that something?
Absolutely.
Well, let's go, girl.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Because we do pickups. I do front porch pickups as well. So, absolutely.
And that number is?
Okay, here we go. Get your pen and paper ready.
Get ready, everyone.
561-815-3517.
3517.
And you'll see our cargo van. You can't miss it. It says Revive and Restore. Our mobile unit, Revive and Restore.
Is that and? Is it
You
the
can
word
tell.
and, or is it an ampersand?
The word and.
Okay, because sometimes it's
Yes.
it's the ampersand. So you heard her voice a moment ago, and she has been chomping at the bit, and we don't know for sure if she really needed to blow her nose or she was just trying to get our attention. But Hadley has been wanting to say something. Hadley, I want to ask you, what are you most proud of your grandmother? What makes you most proud of your grandmother? And we know you love her.
All things.
There you go.
All things.
That's a beautiful answer.
That's not bad.
She is a little servant. She comes out with me and serves right alongside me. She is going to someday hopefully take over this ministry.
Come on, Hadley.
Yeah,
We're counting on
training
you.
her up.
Oh, wow.
We're counting on you. Remember what I told you at the outset of the show about how lucky you are to have your great-grandparents in your life and to have your grandparents in your life. Well, you stay with grandma. What is she, are you grandma?
I'm Nunu.
Nunu.
Nunu, I love it.
I'm a Nunu.
That's a different thing. There's Nona, there's Nani, there's
Yeah.
Nana, Nunu. I got to write that down.
Her brother could not say his L's. I wanted to be a Lulu, but our little Noah could not say his L's, and it came out Nunu. So he named me.
That is the most beautiful
Nunu
thing I've ever
forever.
heard. So you're going to be Nunu for all your grandchildren?
all of them,
There you
yes.
go. I love it. I'm going to ring a bell for Nunu. So you stay close to your Nunu because she's going to teach you some of the best lessons you can't get at school.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and we know you're going to do great things, Hadley. Thank you for being here with us today. We're kind of not to the end yet, but
But
I
I
do.
have to tell you something.
Yes, please.
Your cinnamon rolls that are in
Hey,
front
let's
of you.
talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about that. So Anthony and Allison Fonseca
Mm-hmm.
have given up their restaurant on Friday mornings from 8 to 11. And they have allowed Revive and Restore to come in there. And I call it my Revive Cafe. That is for the community. So it's not
Excellent.
only for the homeless, it's for anybody in the community that wants free coffee, good coffee, like from Ragged.
Joey,
Yes,
we gotta
yes,
go.
yes.
Joey, we
And
Let's go.
and I get we have Cuban toast. I get from the bakery right over on Florida, our Cuban bakery, yes. And then I always make something. I make cinnamon rolls or muffins or just something
And
else.
your cinnamon rolls are legendary. Can we
Thank
talk
you,
about that for just a
Mario.
minute?
Well,
I mean,
you
Joey,
know.
Joey, look.
Well, they look.
Yeah,
I
all
baked
of that.
those this morning
Wow.
because
Yeah,
a lot of
they're impressive.
Some of my homeless friends wanted some cinnamon rolls, and I knew I was coming here.
We would be
So-
remiss if we didn't mention a little bit about the fundraiser that I participated in with
Yes.
you and with Allison and the team.
Yes.
Which was pretty successful, well
Very
attended,
successful.
incredible gifts to in as part of the raffle and the fundraising. Talk about that because that's going to be an annual event. No.
Yes.
Please talk about that.
We did very well. We partnered with A Servant's Way. They're a nonprofit, and they help first responder families, but also people in need. So Anthony and I are side by side whenever I need food that needs to be catered for an event that I'm doing. Station House Barbecue caters it. So they're the official caterer of Revive and Restore.
Very good.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And again, the dynamic force of nature that is that the four of you, the
Yes.
four of you together.
Yes.
I mean, that's an unstoppable force. It's beautiful to watch in action.
Well, we've all been called to do it, and so we do it with so much love and joy.
And it was fun. I was there that night,
Yes.
emceeing the event, and it
You
was
did awesome.
Well, I'm not fishing for that compliment, but
Oh,
I'll
you
take
were
it.
great.
I'll take it. But it was fun too. You know what I mean? I was exhausted when I got home because I don't remember ever sitting down during the 3-hour extravaganza that was going on. But people were just vibrant and giving, and we had the auction and the silent auctions, and I'm telling you, it was well worth the time, effort, and energy to get there. Plus, I got a chance to see Mosey because that's who hosted the
Oh,
event.
Mosey. It
And
was
Mosey
amazing.
is
A great place.
Recently undergone some upgrades, so it's spectacular.
Yes.
If you haven't been to Mosey,
The
you
new
might want to get
Mosey.
over there. Yeah, the new Mosey.
Mosey. Yes.
So we look forward to it, and that's going to be next spring, next early spring, April.
We haven't set a date.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Stay
haven't set
tuned.
it. Yes.
Stay tuned because Lori's going to be back with us. We discussed it. I think January is here at WMNF. Each month on our calendar, we honor different different conditions, human conditions. Is that safe to say? Like Mental Awareness Month was last month. We celebrate women in March, and in February it's Black History Month, and in January we talk about the homeless and those in need.
Wow.
So we will definitely have you back, and
Thank
maybe
you.
just maybe maybe Allison might like to join us
Maybe.
as well.
That would be great. Now, I know that one of the main reasons that we started our Friday Revive Cafes, because I want to educate the community. I'm handing out like toiletry bags so that people that come in can put them in their cars. So when they see someone at a stoplight or at an exit, they have a bottle of water and a snack to take with them.
For those people that might be have a little trepidation or might not want to open the window and be a little bit nervous because maybe they have some fear.
Yes.
What do you suggest to those people? Is it have that bottle of water ready to give them, or perhaps $1, or like you say, these little bags with toiletries? What is the best way to handle that situation?
If there's a fear, you don't even have to roll your window down. Make eye contact with them and wave and smile. Sometimes that's all they want.
A little salute, maybe?
A little salute.
I see you,
just
kind of a thing?
Just acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Let them know that they're seen. Okay. And if they do feel comfortable of handing out a bottle of water, that's
because,
so
summer's
appreciated.
upon us pretty soon. And
it is.
It's going to be very, very difficult here real quick. Were you going to say something, Joey?
Yeah, I was just going to say that my experience has been around people who were unhomed around Ybor City is about what you're talking about is, first of all, we're people, they're people. They're just people having a different experience.
Exactly.
And we have to get past this thing that somehow there's something very wrong over there, that there might be mental illness when there may or may not be, or whatever it is. Respect is so huge.
Exactly.
When someone on the street talks to me, I talk back to them and I say, what, blah, 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 whatever. And if they make a request of me that I can't fulfill, I say, I'm sorry, sir, I don't have any change on me right now, or I appreciate. I have actually had homeless people say to me, thank you, sir, for talking to me.
They just want to have a conversation.
Thank you, sir, for talking to me.
Thank you for seeing me, for acknowledging me, my humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what our ministry is about. We just want to build relationships with these people to build their trust. And then they, sometimes, I call the individuals that I serve, I call them my friends, my family, because they have become that over the last 4 years that I've been doing this. I love them all so much.
It's great work.
Just about to the top of the hour.
By the way, real quick.
Yes, sir.
I've been wanting to say this the whole time
Please.
the show's been on, but people can't see Lori. Who does Lori look like?
Hit me.
Who are you being told you to look
Terry
like?
Garr.
No, the
Am I close?
actress on Taxi Driver, young.
Jodie Foster. And we'll move on.
Are you ever told you look like Jodie Foster?
No, but I'll take it.
Yeah, no, Jodie Foster.
You're a dead ringer for Jodie Foster.
And or Terry Garr. Let me just say, as we come to the close of the show, and I'll let you get us out of here with some thank yous, Joey. Lori, thank you so much for the work you do.
You guys, thank you both.
We love you. We love
having me.
your team, everything. Hadley, thanks for coming in today and being sweet.
Thank
and
you,
sitting
Hadley.
there so dutifully. Allison as well, thank you for the work you do in the community. We'll have you back, I promise.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to say, speaking of thank yous, thank you, Jessica Green, the OG of board ops here. And also thank you for being our director of affairs. And Joe Remo from Kokomo. Thank you, Joe Remo. And then finally, up next, Jim Bannon is going to be flipping the disc and playing them.
And to all those that donated last week, thank you from the bottom of our
folks.
hearts. You're
Please,
listening,
thank you.
as always, to WMNF Tampa.